What do you guys think about the origin of COVID-19? Do you think it was more like a natural origin or a lab leak?
I don't really care because it's over now.
O animal, macaco.
100%?
100%.
Casi todas que saquei na conta, não dou farto conta e nem sequer acorda. Dinheiro que pronta, pele com amor. É que está na sua e meu brilhar. Deixa sozinha os notas, são chota e uma foto. Deixa que são hoje a porta.
If you ask me, I'm pretty sure COVID came from a coconut. It's like a tiny little lab. We're down here in Porto, Portugal. There's lots of tourists around here. We just had Festa São João. Here's some clips from the festival. A couple years ago, it was completely shut down because of COVID. It was like a ghost town. So we're out here on the streets talking to people today whether they think the origin of COVID-19 was a lab leak or natural origin. Were you guys here for Festa São João?
We live here.
Yeah.
You guys live here?
Yeah.
I live in Gaia, you live in Porto, so just across the river. It was like the first time that people in Porto were able to like celebrate São João properly since the pandemic. So yeah, very fortunate to experience it.
What do you guys think about the origin of COVID-19? Do you think it was more like a natural origin or a lab leak?
I don't know. I was actually living in China at the time.
Really?
Yeah, but I was here on holiday and I just never went back. So I'm still on holiday.
So personally, I'm a little skeptical. I've never had the vaccinations. I have had COVID twice, but I've survived. I don't necessarily think it's man-made, but I think it's been blown out of proportion in terms of reactions, lockdowns.
And for me, I don't really care because it's over now. It's happened. Yeah. We're here right now and I'm happy where I am right now. I'm happy for whatever happened during the last 3 years and it's all good. So yeah.
I mean, it was real, of course, but I think that it was like premeditated from labs and all that stuff.
Everything is premeditated.
Yes, it was from lab.
Like 2 minutes ago, we were speaking about Porto, and now you're asking
Porto,
about
and now I'm
what's
asking
the
you
origin of COVID-19.
Yeah, this is.
I'm not a scientist. I have no clue, to be honest. So I don't want to spread any fake news.
I thought it was staged or like set up. Like I think it was a lab leak.
You think?
Yeah.
I could be.
Like,
I don't
obviously
know.
there's no way to prove it, but like as a personal opinion, I think it was a lab leak.
There's a lab there in Wuhan, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like there's some, but I don't know. I was told some guy just ate a bat. Some bat soup or something like that in their car.
Originally, what made me so sus was when the death figures and COVID figures were coming out. When around the world COVID was spreading, but in China, they weren't leaking their figures. That's why I'm expressing that opinion.
Yes.
It was natural, I think. It's my opinion.
My opinion is the same. I think that's because he's working in hospital. I think he's right. So I think it's natural also.
Do you remember what you read that really helped you understand that?
I've been in Zakopane. It is a Polish town. I read it about that somebody ate a monkey or bats. I thought that it was. It's not so big deal, you know. Then I think that.
Foi um animal, macaco. Fui na escola, uma história que foi muito inventada antigamente, 1900, e tal. A história foi inventada assim.
Tem muita confiança em sua resposta ou não?
Tenho muita confiança.
100%?
100%.
Well, I prefer to believe that was natural.
Prefer?
Yeah, but well, I believe in that theory that it happened in the laboratory in China, but
you do
not intentional.
So
but yeah,
not
I believe,
but
but
like
not
an
intentional.
accidental.
As an accident. The other option will be too evil, like to think that he creates something like that on purpose.
Comeram um animal errado e o bagulho, tipo assim, perderam o controle. A China come tudo que se mexe, né?
Você também? Ou...
Eu acredito que foi de animal. Não acredito que não foi criado em laboratório, não. Acho que foi de animal. E eu acho que eles perderam o controle, sim.
I'm going to say lab leak. I think it's impossible to say. It's impossible. Who am I to say? I don't know. Well, they say it started in the lab, and what the heck, right? Who knows?
Do you have like a reason or like a hunch of where that comes from or something you read?
Nah, just I mean, think it was leaked, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I know where it started and it ended up around the rest of the world, right?
Well, you say like it's impossible to know.
I mean, it's not like it's impossible to know, but I don't have information on the subject.
Who might have information, do you think?
Governments, China.
Probably no. Do you guys know these two? Let's see real quick. These two people at all? Do you know anything about these names?
No, I don't.
No.
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 No,
Can't say I do.
doesn't ring a bell.
No.
Peter Daszak.
Peter Daszak.
No, I don't.
I think I heard the name somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yes.
Peter Daszak, Zhengli,
No.
the famous Batwoman.
No.
Nope.
So
she ate
the animal?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might have seen them maybe in an
Maybe
article
like a
or
long
something.
time ago
but
or something like
yeah,
that.
not currently. I can't think of it.
I have no clue.
No.
Personally, no.
No, I don't think so.
Enlighten us.
Okay. Zhengli, she's known as the Batwoman. She's very famous for studying bat coronaviruses in China. Peter Daszak is the president of EcoHealth Alliance, which actually funded the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Yeah.
That picture that shows them together was part of their collaborative research. So they were doing gain-of-function research, which is public knowledge. So they take the spike proteins of coronaviruses, and then they reverse engineer them, and they put them in the backs of different bat coronaviruses, inject them into humanized mice which have human cells, to find out if the viruses can be more contagious.
You can manipulate them in the lab pretty easily. It's just spike protein drives a lot of what happens with the coronavirus, zoonotic risk. So you can get the sequence, you can build the protein, and we work with Ralph Barrick at UNC to do this. Insert it into a backbone of another virus, and do some work in the lab.
Peter Daszak was picked by the World Health Organization to lead the investigation into the origins of COVID-19. What would you think about having someone who funded the lab investigating the origins?
Yeah, it's not right. There's I've seen a lot of things like with like Pfizer and a lot of the bodies that were involved in the vaccinations, right, in terms of like the work that they did and their connections, the people that work for them that are connected to other governments and institutions. There's a lot that doesn't add up for me personally, but I didn't know this guy was like involved in the funding. Okay, interesting.
No, I had no idea. Obviously, he can be very selective of what he chooses to expose, to the world, and what he chooses not to. So yeah.
Conflict of interest is never good, right? It's the same as having CNH sugar.
You're obviously leading this question. I know you want us to say, so like, obviously.
I'm not leading it anywhere, telling you what you should believe. The people who are supposed to guide you into what the truth is, does a conflict of interest discourage people that maybe this isn't proper science?
I think a conflict of interest is never good in any study. I think you have to have a fair and honest.
Of course not. Yeah.
Honest study.
Nossa, gente.
Nossa.
É um conflito de interesses que gera dinheiro.
Dinheiro.
É isso,
Money.
não tem outra função.
Money.
Meu.
Eu tô chocada, eu só vou pegar o sol.
It doesn't seem like good science, but I think that people are kind of blind, like brainwashed.
I think people don't
Don't want to hear the truth.
Yes. They prefer to live like in
the shade.
If those are verified informations, then of course that I see a conflict of interest here. Yeah. So that's with that I agree.
It's almost like murder in plain sight. Yeah. I guess that's all you have to say.
Do you guys know about that?
No. It's not I think it's not a common knowledge.
What was it like here during the pandemic, being like a business owner?
Não havias uma pessoa aqui, não havia nem na ponte, era um deserto autêntico. Não havia metro, não havia nada, fechado. Mas aqui tinha conhecimento que quem andava na rua, a polícia estava assim, mandava ir, vai para casa.
Was it a lot harder to get money for your business?
É muito mais difícil. A única coisa que estava aberta eram os hipermercados grandes.
Obrigado para a sua perspectiva.
Tá? Obrigado, tudo bom para vocês.
How were you personally impacted by that in your life, or
Yeah,
with
like-
friends of yours? Could you tell me a little bit about
yeah,
that?
I could tell you. Like, I had a great time because we were playing Counter-Strike then, you know? Like, we have a bunch of friends,
Sure.
and we were all locked down in our houses. Each day we were gaming a lot. It's the fun side, but I also know that a lot of people my age have had a lot of problems with like psychological problems, yeah, because they were locked down, they couldn't meet with other people. A grandparent of my best friend died in hospital.
Não são robôs, entendeu? Eu acho que são vidas. Muitas pessoas perderam a vida, tipo assim, morreram. Quase 700 mil pessoas no Brasil. Realmente, assim, a gente não esperava. Perdeu-se mãe, perdeu-se pai. A mãe dela ficou em coma. Tipo, em coma não, tipo assim, ficou internada na UTI, tipo, 31 dias internada. E...
Graças a Deus, tá assim.
Porra.
Mas nós temos amigos que perderam pai e mãe,
Também, mas
entendeu?
eu tenho amigos que perderam pai, mãe, tios e, enfim, é uma parada assim, pra eles é uma experiência, mas pra gente é uma perda.
Exatamente.
Sabe? Então, é
tipo
muito
assim,
agravante,
de verdade,
sabe?
pra mim, de verdade, falando sério, menina, essa informação agora muda tudo.
Totalmente,
É muito
muda
mais
tudo,
preocupante,
muda tudo. Qual é a próxima coisa que eles vão, tipo, testar em laboratório, a próxima doença que eles vão testar em laboratório e que, tipo, isso vai se perder, entendeu?
Death-wise, no one within my family or friends, fortunately, but still a couple of my friends' relatives, which, you know, it is unfortunate.
So I'm from Scotland, right? And at home, what used to happen during the first lockdown, especially, was you got an update on how many people had died each day. A lot of people, yeah, inflicting fear, and a lot of people die of natural causes anyway. But if you can put it down on COVID as on the death certificate, then you can scaremonger and you can leverage that for people to get vaccinations, people to comply. The money in pharmacy is bonkers that came off the back of it. Like, it's crazy. The war in Ukraine, all that. I'll stop. I'm done.
When COVID starts, I cannot full work because I work in oncology, and many patients can't go for therapy in oncology because hospitals don't work properly.
Oh yeah, actually my dad owns a shop. Like, it's like an online grocery store. He'd have to drive like maybe hour or 2 hours. Like, he'd leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, yeah, and he'd go around delivering food to people. Yeah, every time he'd like come home, my mum would like make him like take all his clothes off and like put in a wash, and like he'd have to go upstairs, go for a shower straight away. Like, everyone was really paranoid, especially like towards the start of COVID. Everyone was like really scared, because I remember originally my mum telling me that there was this virus in China, and I was like, yeah, it's in China, like it's not going to affect us. And obviously it's tragic what has happened, but it's nice to see that everything's opening up now and people are able to go out again, and yeah.
So I used to work at a bar. They had to like stop, like the bar had to like close down for a good period.
Even we were in college and school and stuff, so online school, online college, that was also very difficult.
In Barcelona, it was like a law that you have to go one person to the supermarket. My boyfriend, he was anxious. I told him like, you can go, I stay here, and I stay for 2 months in the same place.
In the same place.
Without going out like even 5 minutes.
You never went outside once?
No.
So what's crazy to me is like this happened to you, right?
Yes.
This has never happened to you in any other part of your life?
No.
Like in your history?
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
true.
It's crazy.
We wrapped interviews today. Literally everybody I talked to today was like really, really kind. I don't know for the average person what is common knowledge for people or not, as far as Peter Daszak and Zhengli. At least today I didn't run into anyone who was actually familiar with those names, and that was maybe a little bit of a surprise. I'm not here to be like judgmental or anything like that. People have their lives to live, and not everybody's going to have the same interest or curiosity into things. Another thing I didn't really get to cover that I wanted to cover more was the furin cleavage site, which is the thing that makes SARS-CoV-2 unique from other earlier coronaviruses. And this is what makes COVID-19 so infectious and contagious for humans. We have evidence of a public grant that Peter Daszak authored. The funding was rejected for that grant, but he talked about how they were looking for novel furin cleavage sites, and their goal was to actually reverse engineer them and insert them into the backbone of other coronaviruses. That leaked report, which is called the Diffuse Project, you can read and look at all the information in that too, and see what types of research that Peter Daszak wanted to fund. February 3rd of 2020, Many of the scientists from the Wuhan Institute of Virology published their findings about the genetic information of SARS-CoV-2. One of the things that they did not report in their first finding in February was the furin cleavage site, and it was not even discussed even after the Wuhan Institute of Virology had all of the genetic information available. So that furin cleavage site was only revealed after other people looking at the genetic information discovered it. And this is not me stating that I have proof in a lab leak, but I do believe that I have proof that there are lots of issues of transparency and conflict of interest. Let me know what you think in the comments about all these conversations. Have an awesome morning and night, or whatever it is on your side. Ciao.
I love you forever. Brasil. Neymar é o melhor do mundo.
No. They have a challenge going on right now. They're doing a live bingo challenge.
We have like different stuff, so it's like skipping rocks, beating strangers in rock, paper, scissors. We staged it, but whatever.
So you don't want to get beat by me. One round, otherwise you have to keep doing the interview if you lose.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
We came from a festival in a mountains, Goat Community Festival.
Does it have anything to do with goats?
But no,
We didn't see them.
All right, I'm confused.
My name is Eric.
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 Eric says subscribe to my channel.
Sí, oui, oui.